Sometimes when I get on this microphone and I talk to you, I say to myself, why should I be somebody that people listen to? Why my experiences, my stories, why are they important to tell? Right? I ask myself this. I sit down and I say to myself, like, why, I really ask myself, like, why do you get on this microphone to talk to people or do the Black Woman's Guide and all these different type of things? Because I am an intuitive practitioner. I'm a spiritual practitioner. I am a spiritual being. I'm an artist. I'm a creative. I am the student. I am the adept of the occult. If you're an artist, you are an adept in the occult. I am a master student of the universe. I love that one, a master student of the universe. I am a constant learner, reader. And so if you learn and you read a lot, then that makes a teacher out of you, right? I have endured and gone through things in a way that many out here I have come to realize would not survive. I have been smart enough to stay in my lane in life. And there's times I may have thought I was weak for making a decision I made, but now I have grown. I realize that was the best decision I have made in my life. And that's who I am. That's what life has bought and given to me for all these years. One thing hit me yesterday from what we were talking about. I ended up telling my neighbors, I showed her the friends that I had, and I was like, congratulations, and I was happy for them. I couldn't help it. I wanted to talk to somebody. I talked to my brother about it, but I was like updating her, like, yeah, the her, and this, that, and the third. I didn't want to tell her that the mom died. I was still kind of distraught over it, and how I'm going to send them a message and send my condolences to the loss of their mom. You know what I'm saying? And so, uh, she replied and was like, "I'm shocked that that's your friends and this, that, and the third." And what had hit me was, and I was talking to my partner about this, I was like saying how I lived my life not showing me. And I was like, it's not really easy. It's not really easy to be a creative, to be an artist, to live a life like that, to know people like this, to do things like this. Because people can be so jealous and resentful of you. And what's so strange about it is it's not hard to do the things that I do. At least to me, I don't feel that it's hard. When you align your life properly with the proper people to have that life, you can follow your favorite artist, whatever, fill in the blank. You can follow their email list. You understand? Depending on what artist you follow, that's another thing. You can go to their album listening parties. You can attend any events that they have. And see, if you deal with an artist, here's another thing. If you deal with an artist who is from the town or area in which you are from, that artist is going to do so much for their town people. Okay? But it goes back to what I learned all the way when I was 27, 28 years old. And what he said was, it's about your level of intelligence. And some people get offended by the term level of intelligence. And I said level, how I always say it's level of frequency, because something about that word level of intelligence can offend people. But I'm starting not to care because I'm starting to understand what he's saying more and more. It is about your level of intelligence. It is about your frequency of a level, your frequency of intelligence. Sound, vibrations, and forms is the alphabet. That's the alphabet. It's a sound, it's vibrations, and it's form. And the form is the actual letter. And then everything else is sound, vibration, and form. How you read, how to read, how to read a book, how to understand vocabulary, how to expand your vocabulary, how to do music, okay? How to be a bartender. All of these things are in your hands depending on your frequency of life and your frequency of intelligence. That's why I said it's not hard to do the things that I did. But I also align myself up with the proper people. I aligned myself up with the proper people. And I knew what spaces to go to get these things. I'll give an example. See, the Versace story is a sad story, but I don't know Versace. I know he was an incredible, incredible mind when it comes to design. And I still stand on what I say to this day. Nobody can fuck with the design of vintage Versace, the original Versace. Okay? He took his design straight off the walls of Egypt. You can't fuck with it. All right? We're going to get into that part in a minute. And the man who took him out, they said wasn't even rich, but somehow he found his way to all these rich parties and be around all these rich motherfucking people. Well, first of all, Versace's not here to tell us the story about that man, because that was his little stalker lover thing. Okay? But let's just, for example's sake, use this man that Versace had this rendezvous with that took him out, right? How is somebody who was not rich, not in this lifestyle, not even a part of this lifestyle, how was he able then to put himself in a space like that with people like this and make it? How was he able to put himself in this kind of space, right? And not be of the same financial caliber of these people? Alignment. It's alignment. And I want to tell you something. People will come around to be a major distraction in your energetic vibration. When you recognize your artist life is being sabotaged, that is the point of this topic right now. People will come around to sabotage and come between the energetic vibration and alignment that you have as a creative. And you have to be able to see it. The most obvious one, and sometimes not so obvious one, is your relationship, your personal relationship, the one you lay in the bed with relationship. That's always the first one. But honestly, before that, it could be your own family and your own parents. But that's a whole nother topic in itself. You're talking to somebody who's free. You're talking to someone who's the black sheep of the family. I can't really help you with that one. So then let's get to the more personal things that you can control in your adult life. You see, there's always somebody that is somewhere and they don't have the same energy and motivation and drive and ambition that you have about what you do and where you are and what you are about. And this is why it goes back to what I tell you about sizing people up. Okay? Sizing people up. See, the thing is, why do we size people up? Because you're on a mission, because you're focused on something, you're determined to get something done, you're determined to make sure life is at the path that you want it to be. And it's okay to have a little fun, okay? It's okay to have a little fun, but you can still have fun with what aligns with you. You know, sometimes this path gets lonely. It gets very lonely. But I need you to know that lonely is the muse. And I'm quoting Halsey on this. And I would like to know where Halsey got that quote from. And I'm not surprised because I wouldn't be surprised if someone like Edgar Allan Poe said some shit like that. Did I say Edgar Allan Poe? Manly P. Hall, excuse me. Manly P. Hall said something like that. Loneliness is the muse. Why is there a fly in my fucking house? I hate flies. That motherfucker flying around too. Belly, kill this shit. Loneliness is where you create more. That motherfucker is little and loud. Fucking asshole. Gonna buzz by my ear. Loneliness is the muse. Loneliness is where you fulfill yourself the most, where you do your art the most, where you create the most, where you surround yourself around your artistry the most. And I tell you all the time, you're going to have to stop consuming, right? Or feeding your spirit or feeding your energy in spaces that is just not in alignment with it. Okay? Everything has its purpose, right? Yesterday, I was in awe because I was looking at Coco and Breezy. And I saw how long Breezy's hair got and how beautiful it is. I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, wow, Breezy. Not that I'm not used to that, but something in her spirit, her energy. I was like, wow, Breezy, damn, your locks look dope. So I also I was showing my partner and stuff, her hair from how it started to where it's at and stuff like that. And then as I was watching the videos, I start stumbling across videos because they DJ and they got music videos. I didn't know none of this, right? I mean, I knew they DJ, but I didn't know they had videos and stuff. And so I go back to it and uh I I saw how they went to a DJ Scratch Academy, right? And and it's a lot of other things, right? And these are the things that people do who want to elevate themselves. They're constantly taking themselves to school. They're constantly teaching themselves things. They're constantly opening a book and reading and learning from it. Their life is aligned with that every single fucking day. Their home is reflective of that every single day. When I saw that, it began to remind me of something. And again, it begins, and like I said, this is all alignment. Why did I go from looking at her hair, like, oh shit, I like that, to ending up looking at the beginning of her hair to stumbling across a video of them DJing. Because you know the universe will also give you things and give you answers to you. The universe will give you answers of the path that you are supposed to be on for yourself. That's the key. You have to know your path. And see, when you know your path, it's not hard to push people out the way. You don't care about feelings. You don't care about vibrations and what you feel of somebody. You are in tune with yourself enough to know why you feel that way. You are in tune enough to know with yourself to know why did this person come into your life. You have to have that level of confidence as a spiritual intuitive. When I sit back and I look at my experience with that bullshit coven, right? And I look back at that shit and I look at how fucking stupid, retarded, and ridiculous it is. It was the universe confirming to me that I ain't never wrong about what I say about Gen Xers. It was the universe confirming to me that I'm not ever wrong about people who fuck with them and how they behave when they're around a fucking Gen Xer. It was confirmation of that. But it was also confirmation of I don't fucking need to join shit or be a part of anything on my spiritual path. I've been doing fine just by my goddamn self, solitary in my motherfucking path, right? So it's these type of experiences that opens my eyes. Again, this is my experience. Okay? I had to sit back on so many levels and think about why are the people who I have come to know are not the friends in my life anymore? Why did I not remain friends? Why didn't I just talk to that friend that I saw? Because I talked about it. I was like, the last time I saw her, she didn't talk to me, but I didn't say anything. I didn't pull her to the side, but the other person talked to me, and all of these different things. Because you have to be a warrior on this path. And a warrior doesn't always mean getting physical and fighting. The mind is the most powerful thing that you can ever have. The mind is the most powerful fighter that you can have when you know how to use it. And all of these experiences, and I then begin to realize how I lived a life of always being distracted, of being who I am, right? I realized that. Another thing, I want to add that imposter syndrome is another topic in this that I didn't really want to touch on too much because I know I've gone through it before, but it never was that serious. Imposter syndrome came when I had made a big decision in my life that, damn, I really want to do this. I really want to make this happen, goddamn. But other than that, I never had it. Never had it. Always believed in myself, my spiritual path, myself, my talents, who I am, what I'm capable of. Always believed in it. Listen, you are going to go through imposter syndrome if you're dealing with it as a creative, as an artist. because you are channeling and you are going through a path of being multiple things and people. You're like a mermaid. They say the mermaid travels through different portals in this world. And that's how I like to see the artists. And it's so funny because the mermaid is always associated with Pisces. And that's exactly the world that you're in. I saw this guy, I was watching the guy who did the guy called Bruck Up. It's a dance. But the woman was Jamaican woman talking about it and talking about her experience of being there and you know, and there was another guy who had was talking about the Bruck Up and how the artistry of this dance because dancing is art anyway, but the Harlem Shake and the Bruck Up are similar dances, but the Bruck Up has more like a broken shoulder movement in the dance movement. And the thing about it was he had on the white contacts and he was dancing and he was just in his groove, just fucking dancing. And I was just like, I come across a comment because I really don't really like the comment section, but I had come across a comment and he was like, "Well, I usually have debates over this or something, some shit he said," and then he went on to comment or whoever it was making the comment, and I was just like, "What the fuck?" And then that's what made me look at the video, and I saw he had the white contacts in the world of being an artist, we become secluded. I suppose it's another word. I can't remember right now. But it's close to the word secluded. And in that world, other people that are not artists will not be able to understand it. And this is where the jealousy comes in because you have to understand as an artist, art is in your life every day, 100%, whether you recognize it or not. Okay? You may think that you're doing things simple, but you may not realize how you do it with artistry. Okay? You may walk and you think that you're walking, but you may not realize you do it with artistry. Everything about you, and that is where the jealousy and the envy comes in. You see, that's where the extreme criticism and all this stuff comes in. And you got to understand that you can find many people as yourself no matter where you are. You just have to pull yourself in that space. Or you may just have to move into the space of people more like yourself. See, I'm aware of where I am. I'm aware of the people I'm around. I am empathic enough, psychic enough to realize the energy of these people. And I do not let that affect who I am, you see? But I also move very smart. I am also aware that I can go to other spaces and find so much more people as myself than when I'm here. But see, I've made myself comfortable here. I don't mind just hopping in a car and going to spaces more like me. I don't mind being in a peaceful space, in a space that's not so busy. It is my choice down the line if I say, hey, it's time to go back to the busy city life again. That's my choice. But right now, I'm enjoying peace. I barely have any neighbors, meaning that no one's in the apartments across from me. One is in the apartment next to me, one's in the apartment on the other side of me. The one next to me is next to me, but that's a quiet neighbor. Across are quiet. The neighbors that's the loud ghetto ones are on like across the street, but they not really enough for me to really be bothered. I could snow on music and I won't hear them. You see? And I like that level of peace. You see what I'm saying? And so, with that being said, this is a phase in life where I'm at as an artist. I'm in a quiet space of creation. Not that I didn't have it on the beach, but it's way different than being in the city. Okay? Now, how to recognize your art is being sabotaged. When you are passionate about something, when you are so drawn to something, you're so determined in something, and you find that fizzling out, like it starts to fizzle out, or you're not even interested no more. You're not interested in the music. There's an energetic distraction happening around you. Mhm. It's a very energetic distraction going on around you. Okay? And the energetic distraction is something that you need to pay attention to. Because I promise you, as an artist, it never leaves you. Your art never leaves you. Being around artists and creatives never leave you. Wanting to be more friends and close to people that's artistic and creative, it never leaves you. And I'm not just talking about the SCW, okay? I'm speaking in general about yourself. Ah, shit. That motherfucker just jumped on the phone. Did y'all hear that? Never leaves you. I gotta find something that's flat the fuck out of this shit. It's little. It's a little one and it's loud. Another thing to note, excuse me. Ooh, ooh, I needed that stretch. A very much other thing to note is that you have to be honest about what is around you. Okay? And what do I mean about being honest about what is around you? Being honest about what is around you will help you see what is disturbing and distracting my art. Who around me is distracting my art? Energetically, what is around me that's distracting my art? What am I listening to that's distracting my art? Who am I listening to that's distracting my art? Who am I hanging around with? Do the people around me align with who I am? And that's when you have to set your boundaries between who you are and when you go to work. Excuse me, y'all. I had to get that puffer, and I'm about to fucking kill this fucking fly. And there's no, it know I'm about to kill it because it just got quiet. I was like, I'm gonna kill this motherfucker. Oh, excuse me, I'm gonna unalive this fly. Okay. Here's the thing: you have to look into that, but you have to be able to, as an artist, you have to have some intuition and pay attention to these things. I, when it's too much toxic shit going on around me, I cut everybody off. That's just something I do. When it's too much toxic shit, everybody has to go. I've been this way for a very long time. When everyone is too distracted, I cut people off. And I do this in my personal world. I'm like this. I sat back, right? And I was like, realizing the difference of energy from when I listened to the news with Trump and all this shit with MAGA and the divestment shit and this woman they have erected in the fucking the Times Square and the nigga in the Times Square statue, like all this shit, like this, this art that this person in British did, right? Versus when I went over there and I saw the DJ class and I started thinking about my other course I was in myself and all kind of shit. I was sitting back looking at this and I was like, why am I listening to this shit? What does this shit have to do with anything that I'm doing? What does any of this shit have to do with anything that I am doing in my life from age 40 to 45? What is my absolute 5-year plan for myself that needs to be done from 40 to 45 years old? What books have I been reading? You see, you have to already be who you are so when you get too far from yourself, you know how to go right back into who you are. But the beauty of the universe will bring you there. The universe will be like, boop, boop, boop. Don't forget. Don't forget your mission, right? And so understand that there are people, they don't have this like you have that. Understand that there are people, they don't have the same type of goals and mentality that you have. Their life and habits is what they do on a daily basis. Their life and habits is not reading books. Their life and habits is not to even think about following their favorite artists and going to an album listening party or watching or going into an art show. I gotta go handle something, as you can hear the different sound. And when I finish that,